What's the number one thing you should do to guarantee that you're going to deliver an incredible speech? I did another video about public speaking where I talk about the 3E framework of building great speech, so we'll link to that somewhere on this box or down below so you guys can watch that, okay, afterwards. But here's the thing. Here's something I didn't talk about. I've given her 300 speeches now, and there's a secret that is almost so obvious that no one talks about it. And it is this. Before you give your speech, you must write down your speech, okay? You must edit it. You must have a piece of paper that is the exact speech you're gonna give. And then here's the hard part. You must read it out loud around 50 times until it's completely memorized. Completely memorized. Nobody wants to hear this, right? We don't want to hear that you have to read a speech 50 times to practice it, but I'm telling you, that's exactly what you need to do. Remember I said I gave 300 speeches? Well, do you think I had it memorized the first few times? No, I didn't, and it sucked, okay? Now whenever I give a speech, I gave a speech recently at South by Southwest. I wrote an all-new speech for South by Southwest, building trust in distrustful times. I had to write it out, edit it, and then I had to give it 50 times. Did my wife get sick of it? Did my parents get sick of it? Did my mom get sick of it when I called her on the phone to do it? Yes, I recorded myself doing it. I did it on the street while walking around. The point is, I had to have it fully memorized because until you have your speech fully memorized, you cannot appear natural. It sounds like a paradox. It sounds like a contradiction. But the thing is, if you don't have your speech memorized, guess how you appear? Welcome, everybody. You appear stiff. You don't have it memorized. You're not thinking about your speech. You're thinking about reading it. You're thinking about remembering it. When you eliminate those things away, you're not reading it, you're not remembering it. Now it's in you because you've done it 50 times. I'm telling you, practice it 50 times, 50 times. Then guess what you can do on stage? Appear natural, have no notes, throw in an ad lib, throw in a quip if somebody yells something. You can give it to them. Well, I gave that speech at South by Southwest. I mentioned something about Apple right at the beginning. 2 people yelled and I said, oh, we have 2 people who work from Apple here. Everyone cheered. Or I said, maybe they're 2 people from a disgruntled company and they want to work for Apple. Everyone cheered. Those aren't even funny jokes. But the point is, people could sense that I was ad-libbing on top of something that I'd already memorized, and that builds huge trust with the audience. The other thing is, if people know that you memorized it, which they probably will because you got no notes, you got no cards, you're not reading off a teleprompter. I once toured 16 cities with a giant automotive company. The executives read teleprompters all 16 times. It was horrible. Then they also recognize your hard work. Not only are they applauding your content, they're now applauding your effort. And that's a secondary type of applause. They now applaud the fact that you did it, that you tried really hard, that you wanted to do it so well that you memorized it. I once saw a wedding toast given by the mother of the bride. She memorized it. It was a poem. And everyone gave a huge clap and stood up because you know what? She just did the work to make sure that she had it memorized. We know when someone puts 50 reps in before they're giving it to us. We can smell it, okay? So memorize your speech and then you can ad-lib on top of it. Then you can have fun on stage. Then you won't be thinking about what do I have to say next. It is in you. That's the number one thing that guarantees you're going to give a good speech. Now, I don't know if it's a big, important speech in your life. Maybe it's like you're giving some toast at some tiny little thing. You don't care about it. Fine, don't bother. But if you have a big speech, a speech for your company, a speech for your career, a speech to win a prize, a speech to win a donation, a speech to get an award, a speech that counts, give it 50 times first and make sure it's fully memorized, and then I guarantee you it'll go over well. What's one tip you have for public speaking? What's one tip you have to make yourself better when you go on stage? Drop me a line in the comments and let me know what questions you have about speaking. Speaking is something I do all the time. I give over 50 speeches a year. It's my pleasure and privilege to share what I've learned. I just need to know what you're wondering about, and I will.